day-to-day stock price. Stock goes up, stock goes down. Crap happens. I mean, stock market's down because something happened in Greece. I don't know what the hell happened in Greece. It got nothing to do with us. We're going to go win, but we ain't going to run this company based on, one of the things back years ago, and looking down at Randy, this is a time where he would go up to New York with us quite a bit. And Sandy Weil in his office used to have outside the office a big sign that with one light would be on or the other, and it would either say the chairman is happy or the chairman is mad. Okay? And that was on or off depending on what the stock was doing that day. And if you sat in a meeting with Sandy in his office, true story, he would sit on the sofa, you'd sit on the sofa here, he would be talking to you, but he would be staring over your shoulder at the stock price going across the screen that was there looking at him. Now Sandy did great, and this ain't nothing, but that ain't how we gonna run this thing. There ain't no Quotron machine in my office or Rick's office. We ain't staring at the stock all day long and all that kind of crap, because what we know is we gotta go build Primerica. Right. We gotta inspire, motivate, incent through equity and comp and everything. You guys to go build your team, grow the number of licenses that we have, grow this distribution system, and if we do that, years down the road, stock's going to be good. If we don't do that, stock ain't going to be worth a crap. Okay, that's the reality of what we got to go do. And so this is about you building your business. I'm talking about why we're great, why this refounding, why this moment that we're at is so critical for all of us. Look, I love this thing. I could write a book on crap I ain't good at. And I'm as flawed a human being as anybody in the dang world. We're all flawed. But I tell you one way, I love this thing. I love the people of this company. I love what we stand for. I love all the almost 30 years I've been here. Let me tell you what, I'm more excited about the next 10 years than I am about any of those past 30 years. This is our time. This is our day. As we began the process back in 2006, it's an amazing story. The process of the IPO began with me flying to New York on a Friday afternoon and having a meeting with Chuck Prince in his office that he referred to as the Moses meeting, because it was kind of let my people go. It was very ironic. I'm not going to go through the whole tortured story of the whole thing, but it was a very ironic meeting, because my meeting with Chuck at that time was, Chuck, while you're still CEO, help us get this done. Because Chuck did love this company, love this business and stuff, and I said, you help us, because we need to get it done. We don't fit there while you're the CEO. And I'll let it roll forward a little bit. One day we were supposed to be in New York. This is in 2007 for a meeting with Chuck and his management team on the IPO. True story. It was a Friday afternoon. I was in Athens. It was during football season, fall of 2007. I was in Athens, Georgia for a football game on Saturday. We were supposed to fly up Sunday evening for a Monday morning meeting with Chuck and his merger and acquisition team at Citi about the deal that we were working on at that time. And that was the week that all the stories broke on Citi's balance sheet, and the lady, wrote the analyst report saying it was terrible, and the stock dropped from 52 to 30 or whatever, and we all thought the world was over with. And I sent Chuck a text message that said, are we still on for the meeting on Monday? Because I was just reading everything going on the internet, the board was meeting and all that stuff, and within 2 seconds, the text came back and said, if I'm still here. And he wasn't. And, so I called Rick after I got the text and said, we might have a challenge here. Throughout that process, y'all, and I'm telling you that this is absolutely true, throughout that process, in every disaster, tells me that there was a guiding hand on this. There were so many times when I thought things were over. And one of the things Rick and I tried to do in the process was to keep our priorities of what we knew we had to get done. Number one was we had to protect the cash flow machine that is the sales force. We had to protect your cash flow, your business, your team you built. That there were thousands. I remember I used to have like several pages from the $100,000 earners book. Inside, I always have a notebook like this. It's got whatever I'm, kind of because I'm the most disorganized human on God's earth too. And so I try to have like, stuff. And one of the things I had in there were just pictures from the $100,000 earner book so that I could just focus on there's families. Okay, this ain't like I'm playing with Monopoly money here. Okay, there's families, and there were so many times in there where I would have a very emotional meeting with people where I'd say, look, I am looking for an ark. Okay, I want to get all my folks on the ark, and I want to get them over into the safe ark. Okay, and that was the approach we took. Second thing we knew we had to protect was the infrastructure that supports this business. And I'll talk in a second about some of the powers of our company and why that was so critical to making this happen. Where we got this business, the whole thing, everybody on the boat, everybody loaded up, everybody going to the new country. Okay? And y'all, in all honesty, we worked our butt off and we did stay focused. And we did try to focus on the right things, but it was a miracle that a lot of those things happened in order to make this moment happen. And in my mind, when something great happens to you, when something good happens to you, you got a responsibility to not just go, oh, well, that's nice, that was really good. Okay, good, that's a good thing. You got a responsibility to play at a level you ain't ever played at. You got a responsibility to go in. I told the story yesterday on TV. Because let me tell you what, freedom, one of my favorite Winston Churchill quotes, my favorite Winston Churchill quote is, success is never final, failure is never fatal. In the end, the courage to continue is all that matters. Okay, and I'm here to tell you success of where we've got to, it's no assurance of the future. The future is blank pages we got to write in. And I used the example yesterday on the RVP call and on TV that, and Mike talked about William Wallace and Braveheart and talked one of my favorite movies. I said on there, I like either stupid movies or adventure movies. Okay, I don't like subtle, did you get the allegory of what they were talking about? So a movie like that, I can sit down and flip on it out. I'm asleep for like 32 seconds. Okay, I like either old school, or Braveheart. Okay, I like either crazy, dumb, funny, or really good adventure. But in Braveheart, and I like to read history. I read a lot of history, and Braveheart is reasonably accurate. Okay, they get sort of close to what happened. Okay, not exactly, and they did a lot of theatrical stuff to make it sound a lot better with a lot of the things and stuff. But one of the things that was true is after you're in the movie, he goes through his torture and they chop his head off, and before they chop his head off, he yells freedom, and then the next scene they're at Bannockburn, and Robert the Bruce is in front of them, and he goes, you bled with Wallace, you fought with Wallace, now fight and bleed with me, and they go, and then the guy runs and throws the sword out in the battlefield, and then at the end it says they fought like warrior poets, they fought like Scotsmen, and they won their freedom. Okay, that's true. 3 years later, they lost it. Okay, that ain't the end of the movie. Okay, Robert the Bruce died 3 years later, and the British retook Scotland. Okay, just because something great